really the real reason why we do this is to help our customers grow. Because sometimes what happens is we get them to a point where they're getting a lot of leads, but they don't know how to scale.
Got it.
They don't know how to grow out of that bad infrastructure. There's always a handicap. So if our customers are set up well in that sense, then we can truly help them grow. And when they grow, we grow.
Welcome to the 3D Media Live podcast, and we are back again.
We're back from a break.
It's been a long time. I feel like the Chat GPT Alex chatbot has officially taken my place.
No. ChatGPT needs a break. We're here back with Akiva, and I'm your host, Dimitri, and we're going to have some fun today.
Been a long time. How you doing?
Yes, I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
Good. It feels good to good to be back in front of this thing here. Yeah. So I was going through. Well, first, before we get going, we want to take a second to just thank all of our viewers, all of our listeners. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our videos, for giving us feedback, engaging with us. Every like, every comment, everything, it helps. It's very, very beneficial for us, so we appreciate it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So as I was just kind of going through the number of videos that we have, I noticed that we don't have any videos where we talk about all of our services at once. Now, here at 3D Media, we do so many different incredible things. But I said, Dimitri, how about we do a video where just in one, we have people that may be interested in some of our services, and they can just watch one video and just find out everything that we do in one.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So, with that being said, I don't want to, let's enough with the small talk. Let's just go right into it.
Yeah, and actually, I want to add something to this.
Okay.
It's not going to be just simply us advertising our company. It's going to be more of what should you do as a business trying to grow. Yeah. And we're just going to tie it into our services, because we realized that these particular services that we do are, in fact, the secret sauce to the success of our customers, that we're able to grow from zero to dozens of millions of dollars per year in sales.
Beautiful. So let's start with photography. Tell us a little bit about photography services.
Everything starts with a picture. A picture is worth 1,000 words, as they say, and it's very true. Online presence is mostly visual. People don't have time to read text. And you got to catch them with a nice image. Whether it's an image of a house, of a service, of a product, it really doesn't matter. The very essence of a thumbnail is tied to a good photo, and that really draws attention of the customer. And we happen to be excellent at doing that. We figured the formula out on both the team to capture and the post-production team to edit. It's consistent. We can do it nationwide, pretty much anywhere and everywhere at any given time. And that's really has helped us to grow where we are now, and it helped our customers elevate themselves. Because, for example, let's say it's a plumbing business or whatever it is, and they keep opening new locations. Actually, I'll give you a more specific, a nationwide business such as Columbia Sportswear. Anytime they open a new store, they call us, 3D Media, and we go out there and shoot the store. Thank you very much for your business, by the way. They've been an excellent customer of ours for years now. Similarly, we are working with Panda Express. Whenever they have a new location, we're there, we shoot it. And it's like that for just about anybody, whether it's a real estate agent and they're listing a new house. Again, picture's worth 1,000 words. But picture's not everything. It's just a part of it's the thing that gets you started,
right?
Gets you through the door. And a little bit more about the photos into the detail. For example, we utilize a lot of HDR techniques, especially when shooting space. HDR. It's a high dynamic range.
Oh, HDR. Gotcha.
So we bracket our photos. We shoot multiple exposures. I don't know if you've noticed, especially it's true on older phones or older cameras, when you're trying to shoot any scene, let's say you're shooting an interior, the exterior is always going to be brighter than the interior, because the natural lighting, the sun is going to be much brighter than whatever lamp you're going to put indoors, unless you have professional lighting. It's always going to be a mismatch. So if you don't have bracketed photos and you're not utilizing artificial light, you're gonna have a very big problem. You're either gonna overexpose the windows and you can't see a thing outside of the windows. It's gonna be like all white, or you're gonna underexpose the interior where the windows are gonna be perfect, but the interior is gonna be really dark and you can't see a thing. With bracketed photos, we're able to bypass all of that. We shoot multiple exposures and then blend them by hand, and it comes out really amazing because then you can see inside, outside, all together in perfect harmony. That's for more interior stuff. When it comes to product photography, it really takes a good eye to get the right angle. Takes good lighting. Again, we have a tremendous team that's very experienced in doing that. Same thing with capturing lifestyle photography. You have to have a good eye. You have to have a vision what you're going to show, and obviously you have to have good equipment. You have to have good lenses that show that show depth of field, so you can blur out the background if you want to accentuate the subject. That's kind of more or less when it comes to photography.
Nice. Great. I think about what you said, how it's the starting place. It's like the bait, it catches your eye, and then we move on into the some of the other aspects, right? Like video production. And I think out of all the services we do, I think that's probably my favorite one.
The video,
the video production, right? Because I'm into that. That kind of falls into a lot of things that I do with the social media stuff, and I think for me when I'm going on, like, let's say different websites for real estate or something, my favorite thing, yes, the pictures are beautiful and that is the eye catcher, but I love watching the videos because it makes me feel like I'm there. It makes me it gives me a chance to really get a feel of what the particular property is all about.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Videos tend to have extremely great conversion rates.
Yeah.
When you use them, it engages the customers. And it's basically, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, there's 24, depends on how you format the video, but there's usually 24 to 30 frames per second. There's 24 pictures, or let's say 30 for easy math. So it's 30,000 pictures per second, 30,000 words per second, what 1 second of video can do for you. So moving pictures is obviously amazing, especially in the day of social media that we are living in. When you're scrolling through a feed, you might scroll past a picture. But when it starts to move, you're naturally going to stop for at least a couple of seconds to see what's moving.
Right.
Let me see. And this is the critical part. You have to have those first 3 seconds. You have to dial them in. So, yeah, people keep watching it past the 3 seconds. It's going to help you with the algorithm as well. And also when it comes to video, there's also music. And music is a huge part of it. A picture is silent. Video is not. With video, first of all, you can talk. You can deliver a message through a voice, and people gravitate towards hearing some kind of a voice telling them a message. Or having pleasant music that really attracts and talks to the soul and it invokes some kind of an emotion. And again, something we're very proud at 3D Media. We have mastered the video creation quite well. We can shoot anything, again, from properties to people to commercials, using drones, using regular cameras on the ground, and sometimes blend of both. And it is really, I'd say, the most important add-on that you can have when trying to create marketing material and marketing assets. Definitely, like, you cannot do anything without pictures. That's a given. Without pictures, you have nothing. But the picture is just like you said, it just opens the door. Yeah. Once the door is open, what are you going to show them?
Yeah. So would you say that is it absolutely essential to have videos, or can people get away with just having pictures only?
I'm biased. I'm going to say absolutely you have to have video, but let's put bias aside. Sure, you can get away without video sometimes, depending on your
I feel like the pictures got to just be like crazy then.
It depends on what is your goal. Okay. Let's laser focus a little bit. Let's say you're selling a house. With a picture, you can put a house on the MLS. That's without, you cannot. You have to have pictures. Now, will the house sell with pictures only? Most likely, yes. Just because we're in a crazy market with low inventory and people just buy everything. Will it sell for more money with a video? Probably. Will the agent sell himself with providing a video? Certainly.
Nice. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Let's say you're an agent and you're trying to get more work. You're my potential client. I come to you and I'm doing a listing presentation. I say, hey, my name is Dimitri. I'm a real estate agent. I want to sell your house. Here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to do photos. Then another guy comes and says, oh, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to do photos and video. Who are you going to hire?
The guy with the photos and videos.
Naturally.
Yeah, right.
He's doing more. Now, let's say you're talking about your past sales and you're going to show what you've done. That's even more impressive because, show, don't tell. If you're going to say, I'm going to do it versus here's what I've done and you show it, it's a different story altogether. The more you show, the higher the chances of you securing that listing. And that kind of goes across any industry. The more you show, the higher the chances of engaging with your audience. But obviously, you can't just show anything. You have to very craftfully show something that's nice. For example, if you're going to take your phone and run through the house and record it and make it look crappy,
right,
then that's going to backfire. You want to make it look crisp and just the right way. The presentation has to be superb. That's why companies spend millions of dollars on video production, and most ads are video ads today.
Got it. So that moves into my next favorite, drone photography, drone services, right? So that has a lot to do with, again, I look at these videos. Some of my favorite videos are the ones where there's drone shots, where it's just hovering over a beach and you can see this beautiful house, that's overlooking the water, and it gives you a chance just to get the whole scope of the property. And even still. Now, you see videos where now you have the drone going through the house, right? And that creates a whole different dynamic that people can't necessarily do with the cameras. You know, how it goes in and it's slow, then it goes faster. I love all that kind of stuff.
Right. So when it comes to drones, and let's actually define it a little bit better. There's aerial drones, like the ones that you send them through the air and they fly and give you aerial shots. Yeah. Then you have FPV drones, first-person view drones.
I see.
But it almost sometimes is similar to the video that we capture on the ground using a gimbal. A gimbal is a stabilizer where you place your camera, and you can walk with it, and it looks like it's like cameras moving on rails. You can also put a camera on a slider and slide for like beautiful cinematic motion. Or you can do handheld. Handheld, generally, we don't use unless there's a specific purpose. Sometimes you need to capture that feel, handheld feel. But generally speaking, we're going to default to using a stabilizer on the ground, which is a gimbal. It may look like a drone shot. A lot of people say, I want drone video. What they don't realize is they're asking us for an aerial video when they say drone. That, generally speaking, in our industry, whenever you say drone video, it's implying an aerial video.
Gotcha.
If you want stabilized video, it can be achieved with a drone, but generally speaking, we don't use drones indoors for safety reasons, unless it's that FPV drone that is a lot smaller now, like we have one from DJI, unbelievable drone, very safe. It's just harder to maneuver to get those cinematic shots. The camera is not as nice as like a big professional camera. But nevertheless, you can capture like the scenes that you were mentioning where you go in and out of a house, and you can't do it any other way. Okay. So it's just more tools. And the reason why we need those tools is to be creative. If you have a creative vision, that's what's going to draw people. Like, people want to see something they've never seen before. If you show them same thing everybody else is doing, not really going to capture their attention. If you can just do stuff that's really different, radically different, then, why is Red Bull doing all these stunts? Are they selling energy drinks? No, they're really selling they're selling the attention. They're selling their brand. They're trying to draw you to watch a unremarkable video that has nothing to do with energy drink whatsoever, but they will insert the brand somewhere in there. They're just buying your attention.
Right.
So when it comes to aerial shots, it actually, I think, has a lot of utility for any business,
Okay.
not just real estate. Real estate, I think it's a given, especially
I'm glad you brought that up.
yeah, especially when you're in California or you have beaches, you have parks, you have mountains. Having those aerial shots is phenomenal. But even if you're in the middle of nowhere, when you just zoom out a little bit and you show the lot and the proximity to the shopping malls or whatever it is, those aerial shots really make a difference. And thirdly, there's a whole idea of going back to that scrolling through the feed.
Mm-hmm.
If you shoot with a drone in the right way, it will capture your attention naturally, because we tend to gravitate towards the bigger picture, so to speak. When you're like showing, let's say, a room, most people are not interested to see a room. When you're showing some kind of environment from the sky, it's just psychologically we're more likely to pay attention to that. We want to see we're curious beasts. Like, we want to see as much information as possible. When you show them like that zoomed out view of some kind of surroundings, like, it clicks with our brain. I want to see what's next.
I want to see beyond it.
Yeah. And then you can zoom in and then you can show details. But you always start off like with something that's further back. But when it comes to other businesses, the same thing. Let's say I give you a perfect example. We have a customer that's an automotive shop, repair shop. How do you use a drone for that? They're repairing cars. Exactly the same way. We started off from high above the horizon, showing the area, and then the drone flies to the location, and then we switch into the services on the inside. What does that do? It just captures the first 3 seconds of people's attention.
Nice. And then you draw them in from there.
They might not be interested to look at cars being repaired right from the get-go, but when you just show them something that pops in their screen, they're more likely to tune in.
Great.
But there are more practical reasons to use drones as well. Again, like showing the location, showing the scope, showing car scene, things that you can only do from an aerial shot, skyscrapers, whatever it may be. So it's an extra tool.
Okay. So let's move on to another service that we offer, which are IT services.
Yes.
And I think this is a service that I feel like every industry can use and also need, right? So maybe you can kind of explain that a little bit more.
Yeah. What we've realized recently, this is a fairly new service that we've done, is, information technology is extremely important. Like, every business needs a good setup where you have security and you have robust infrastructure to grow. For example, even setting up your Wi-Fi. You know how many people are vulnerable to data loss and data theft if you don't set up your Wi-Fi correctly? Or from the other perspective, if your internet is slow and it's not functioning well, you're limiting all of your employees to just be hung up and stuck and wasting so much productivity time.
Frustrated.
Yeah, those are just the two small things. What about setting up a cloud server where you can exchange files and information with ease? All those go into IT services. The problem is, when you're a small business, you can't afford to hire an IT manager. It's very expensive. IT managers, probably starting salary $150,000 a year. You have to know what you're doing when you're an IT manager. And most companies can't afford that unless you have a company of like 20 employees and you're doing millions of dollars in sales already. But when you're starting out, you got to learn it yourself, and you're going to do it. And guess what? When you're doing it yourself, you're going to do it not so well.
Make mistakes.
Yeah, this is not what you've trained to do. This is not your specialty. So we decided to kind of close that gap that most people have. We're providing IT services just like we're providing marketing services, because we had to figure it out for ourselves to have a very robust infrastructure to move terabytes of data between teams and having secure data and files, because we also do websites, we do other things that we're going to get into in just a second. But having good IT-like technology set up to enable you to grow, everything's digital today. So that's really, really important. So we apply the same principle. It's like we're kind of offering almost like Uber service for IT. We can come out, doesn't matter what size of a business you are, charge you a small hourly fee and give you that same service that $150,000 a year would cost. Nice. You don't need somebody full-time. You just need them for a couple of hours. That's it. Figure things out.
Okay, great.
And it helps, really the real reason why we do this, it's not even to make money. It's not like a big money maker for us. It's to help our customers grow. Because sometimes what happens is we get them to a point where they're getting a lot of leads, but they don't know how to scale.
Got it.
They don't know how to grow out of that bad infrastructure. There's always a handicap. So if our customers are set up well in that sense, then we can truly help them grow. And when they grow, we grow.
Beautifully said. You mentioned it already. You kind of tapped into it a little bit, but let's start talking about websites, right? And, we'll do a plug there, 3dmedia.com. Check it out right now. Well, not right now. Listen to the video first and then go. But let's talk about websites.
Yeah. Website is your digital brochure. Website is your business card. Website is how people check who you are. If you don't have a website, you shouldn't do business. If you have a website that's bad, you're not doing business well. Website it's the cornerstone of your identity online.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Yeah, and I if I could just chime in, I think whenever I'm going, I meet a business owner, I meet someone, that's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to look up the company online, and then you look and see if they have a web presence or website, and if they don't, right, it's like, you kind of lose credibility a little bit.
Of course, 100%. I've probably not hired a lot of companies for my personal needs simply for the lack of having a good website. Because if it's like being sloppy. Are you going to hire a surgeon that doesn't have good tools, that doesn't wash their instruments? You're going to get an infection. If they cannot present themselves well, they're probably all their services are going to be like that. They're just showing your character. They're not orderly. Whatever service it is, whether it's somebody cleaning carpets or somebody driving a semi-truck, you want them to be in an orderly way.
Got it, yeah.
And a website is an aggregate of who you are. It's those photos that you captured, it's the video that you filmed, is the information that that you're presenting about yourself, what services you provide. Literally, it's the heart of your business online.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. In fact, we started with websites. The company used to be called OCD Squad. We started with websites. Then we started doing photography for real estate, and actually virtual tours for real estate was 3D Realty. And then we morphed it together into 3D Media, kind of offering all services together in one package.
Well, once you got a website.
Actually, before we even move from a website, there's a few other things that are important to say. And it's kind of obvious, and it's not at the same time. A website doesn't just need. A website has so much potential because if you have a good website, you can sell online.
Yeah.
So you can have a e-commerce store. You can automate a whole process. You can cater to millions of people instantly. If you have a good product that you're selling and you're selling it locally, why not expand to sell it nationally? And there's so many tools now that you can automate, from drop shipping and everything, where it's working for you. It's like doing the work of 10 employees.
Right.
So that's something that a lot of people miss out on. There's such a big opportunity. If you're selling a product, sell it online. That's, I think, a very important thing to mention. And that's kind of what we specialize in as well.
I agree with you.
And custom solutions, like doing referrals and etc. So many ways you can use a website in today's time. People don't even realize communicating with customers through AI, even having online chat, missed opportunities everywhere.
I agree. Once you get a website, I think one of the challenges a lot of business owners, and not even just business owners, but maybe it's just you by yourself and you're looking to start a business, or maybe you're just, maybe you're an online influencer or something, right? And I think the challenge a lot of people run into is learning how to advertise their website, advertise their company. And advertising is another service that we offer. And me being here, I've had a chance to be into some of the meetings, some of the conversations that with Dimitri, and he does a phenomenal job. It's many levels of advertising, and that we offer, and I'm sure Dimitri will get into it, but advertising.
Yeah. So first, we're kind of going in this progression. We start off with creating your content, showing who you are. You start with a picture, then you do more of a video. You might add on some other things like a virtual tour, and we'll talk about virtual tours. Then you have an aggregate where you store all of this and where you can present all of these marketing assets that you've created, which is a website. Then you also want to make sure that on your backbone of your business functions well, which is IT service. And now you're ready. You're kind of ready to reach the world, and you're ready to do the work. So that's where the advertisement comes in. Because if you have the best business in the world and nobody knows about it, you're not doing anything. So that's kind of our core specialty. In fact, my education is in advertising. I have an MBA degree and I have a advertising degree. That's kind of was my, I'd say, dream all along, to create an advertising agency. Even though I think we've discussed this before, we're more of a growth agency, but nevertheless, it functions like an advertising, maybe not a traditional advertising agency. We're trying to promote businesses. We're trying to promote services. And there's many ways to do that. Online, there's like the main ways we promote services or businesses are through Google, obviously, through sponsored ads, YouTube, through video ads, and also Yelp. Yelp is a huge part of our business. We're actually here. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Show it on my camera. We have an award from Yelp as the top Yelp advertising partner, best in core values. And
that's amazing. I love that.
There's, I think, 700 partners out there, and we're at the very top of the partner field. By the way, since we're talking about awards, we have another one here for doing drone services, and I'll actually touch more about that at the end of the video. We'll go back to the drones a little bit. Yeah, but when it comes to advertising, you have to be very strategic. If people are not strategic in advertising, what they're going to do is blow their money away very quickly, and they will never recover. Bad advertising kills businesses because it costs a lot of money to advertise, and you only get one shot. If you mess it up, you can go through all of your investments, or you can get into a lot of debt and never have any return on your advertising spend, or very little where it's not sustainable. Actually, I hear a lot of the times people invest money and they make sales, but the return on investment isn't there. They're spending more than they're making, and it's just a path to the grave, slow path maybe. For some fast, for some slow. So our number one goal is to always create a funnel that converts customers in the cheapest way possible, where the customer acquisition cost is low. It's far less than the margin that you're making on whatever product or service you're making, so you're always net positive. Let's say you're selling air conditioning. Your average sale is $1,000. You make, let's say, 30% profit. So your advertising spend can never exceed $300. Should be a lot less than that because you want to be profitable. But the moment it's $301, again, that's a path to going out of business. So our goal is to be like 10x on the profit margin. So if you're spending $10, you should make $100 in pure profit. That's kind of like the sweet spot.
Okay.
Because once you get to that point, you just pump in more money. You reinvest, and then you go from being a tiny company that barely has any sales to a multi-location, huge company that provides a great service that people love, and you're growing really fast.
Gotcha. So this was something that was new to me when I came into the company, was the 3D Matterport. It was something I've never heard before, and 3D Matterport and custom virtual services. So
Yeah.
dive into that one for us.
Yeah, the virtual tours are, without question, I think, are going to be more and more part of our day-to-day life. We're more integrating into augmented reality, where we're relying on some kind of a digital clone of the physical space.
Yeah.
So Matterport, it just happens to be one of the companies that we started working with from the very beginning. We're one of the top providers. I don't have a badge for it, but we actually award nominated, one of the only companies in the country award nominated for creating Matterport tours. And I'm very proud of that.
As you should.
We jumped on that wagon way before anybody even realized that it was worth anything. In fact, it was very difficult to convince people to utilize the technology in the beginning, but came the pandemic and people got stuck in their homes, and all of a sudden it became a necessity.
Okay.
And ever since then, it remained a necessity. I think it always was a necessity. People just didn't realize it. It's like until, I'll give a bad example, but until people start smoking, they never knew that they're smokers. Once you start, you can't stop. It's a bad example, but it works exactly the same way. Once people realize what it can do for you in a good way, then you can never be without it. And here's the most practical application of a virtual tour. When it comes to buying or selling a house, actually, I'll give you from a perspective of a buyer. I'm busy, as most people are busy. Gas is expensive. You're not going to go to every open house out there.
Right.
But you want to see the house to pre-select. There's a lot of stuff out there. And it's much easier to jump on the computer wherever you are, whether you're at home or at work, whether you're on your phone, on your tablet or computer, and just walk through that listing, walk through the property, check every corner, check the floor plan, look at it from a perspective that you can't even see it where you're in the house, because you can zoom out and see the whole dolly view, 3D image of the entire space. You get it just like that. You can visualize how you're going to have it, restructure it, furnish it, whatever you're going to do. So that's from point of view of buying or selling a house. So I think for real estate, it's like absolute necessity. Not only that, like those major platforms such as Zillow, Redfin, Realtor, they all promote listings that have virtual tours because they realize it's the same thing as the engagement. They want to engage you. So they promote all the listings that have virtual tours because their job is, just like any other social media, to keep the user on the site.
Yep.
And something that is so visually appealing, it takes you time to go through a virtual tour. So from their point of view, the longer they keep you on the site, the better.
Gotcha.
User engagement.
Yep.
So they will promote those listings with those 3D tours. So just for that reason alone, it's already worth doing it. But on the utility side is extremely useful as well. That's for real estate. Outside of real estate, I think any business can use it for similar reasons. Let's say you're a bar or a restaurant. You want to show the ambience, let people walk through, familiarize themselves with your location. And also we can upload that space into Google Maps. Google Maps has this feature as well. And guess what? Google is just like Zillow, Realtor, and Redfin, just like any other website out there that wants you to be engaged. When they see that the user is going to spend more time because they're browsing through a virtual tour, they're going to promote the business on Google Maps that has the virtual tour. And this was true since the pandemic especially. They've been pushing this quite hard. So it's great for any business to get a virtual tour. And it's not just limited to Matterport. There are other technologies that we utilize. We can create very custom virtual walkthroughs. For example, we did this for school here in Huntington Beach, where you can walk through the whole campus. And it used to be very difficult to do these in-person presentations to each new parent. It's a private school, and this way they can just send them a link, and it's all ready to go. The classrooms are all clean. No toys laying around anywhere. It's orderly. It's the way you want to show it, and they can walk through it and they can experience it from how their kid is going to experience it, and it sells the school. It sells the space. It's great way to sell physical space.
Beautiful. Okay, moving on to the next one, virtual Twilight.
All right, virtual Twilight is just a derivative of a photo. It's just like shooting Twilight photos, except now we can enhance them virtually. That's specifically for real estate. That's just a derivative of a service. The benefit of that service is we can do it inexpensively with the convenience of shooting something during the day where you don't have to set up all the lights and wait till it's dark. Like right now, it's the summer. It gets dark 8:30 or whatever. It's expensive to send out a photographer after hours. It sucks for the homeowner to sit there and wait. They want to have dinner with their kids, put kids to sleep. So yeah, anything virtual is always a win. Leading to probably the next question you're going to ask about virtual staging. The same thing. Staging a house is extremely expensive and time consuming. Not only does it cost you to stage a house, it costs you to keep the furniture there. No one's going to let you keep it there indefinitely. Whereas once you virtually stage a photo, it's there forever.
Got you. It's a good point.
And it allows like things that people, not all stagers are created equal. We have like incredible designers that can do it on such a level that is like top of the line.
And I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
And also there's locations where it's inconvenient to do it, where, it's a tall building, you're not going to drag all the furnitures up. Or you have a tenant living in a house, you can't restage it. They're still living there. We can photograph it as is, clean out the room, show pictures as if the room is empty, and then show it furnished. We can even remodel the whole house. We can kind of conceptualize and show an older house looking new. Or when people want to remodel their offices, they've hired us for kind of this vision. When people want to raise investment and they want to show to the board what it's going to look like. Whatever the circumstance may be, having done something virtually is very cost effective, and it allows you to visualize something that isn't there.
I don't see why more people aren't using it.
Yeah, I think they're just not aware, or the cost benefit alone is insane.
Yeah, the cost benefit,
Let's say average house to stage is like probably in California now, $8,000.
Yeah.
Virtually staging, same house, $300-$400. Like 25 times less.
Whoa.
Or something like that. 30 times less. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. Okay, 3D modeling.
Oh yeah, 3D modeling goes back to the same idea of creating a virtual clone of the physical world that we live in. And we use 3D modeling for either, let's say somebody wants to sell a lot of land that's empty, and we can model entire house and place it on that lot. People can walk through the house that's being built and figure out let's say, before it's built, you can figure out the layout, whether you want it exactly the same way or not. Because a lot of the times what happens is they build it and then they realize, I wish it wasn't like this. I didn't think it through. Because they can't really conceptualize being inside of it. Nowadays, we can create a 3D model. You can put goggles and walk through the whole space. You can spin it around, look from any direction. Or you have products like South Coast Plaza hired us for a 3D pin that they wanted, and they put it on their website, and they wanted the 3D model. So we can model just about anything. We can model a product. Whenever you have a 3D design, you can render photorealistic images in any angle, in any environment. Saves time, saves money, and it's a really great service to just about any business can use 3D modeling. And that's, again, something that we pride in doing for quite a while now. We are 3D media after all. We've done a lot of 3D projects, and everybody's been very happy.
Beautiful. So, well, I think that was a beautiful segue. 3D media. So I think one of the distinct, I guess, ideas or thoughts when you think about 3D media is this incredible logo, right? I mean, it couldn't get more perfect than this 3D media logo.
Yeah, we just recently rebranded to 3 being a number versus spelled out. And that's something we also help customers with, is branding and figuring that part out. That's very important. And logo design as well.
Yeah.
We do logos very affordably. I think the key about our business is we've unlocked high quality services at affordable prices, and that's kind of our secret sauce. Going back to websites, there's two kind of ways people build websites. One is the outsource and the very popular place where they build them in India, and they're garbage. They're not U.S. designed website. Security flaws, visual flaws, just trash. But they're cheap. Or you can have a local company that's going to charge you $20, $30, $40, $50,000 for a website.
Right.
It's going to be nice, but they're usually slow at building them. And also they're, like I said, very cost prohibitive. We're slightly more expensive than something that's built in India, but we're at the same or better quality than it's built by all other agencies out there. That's kind of our strength. We figured out how to minimize costs. We do volume at high quality.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, and the last one that we have here is Photoshop techniques, and not just Photoshop techniques, advanced Photoshop techniques.
Yeah, Photoshop is so useful. Everybody heard the term Photoshop now. You can Photoshop just about any image for any purpose, and sometimes you have to. Sometimes it's not just you're trying to make something look better than it is. It's removing imperfections that are temporary. For example, on this picture, this is a great example. I don't know how well you can see it. One of the palm trees was damaged, like there was some damage from the wind. It wasn't there. But they had every intention to replant it. Just at the time of the photo shoot, it wasn't proper. So we basically photoshopped so they look perfect. Yeah, that's just one small example. Or there was another example of a building going for sale. HOA decided to do scaffolding on it, and it was just, I mean, you can see it on our website. It was insane. Covered completely in scaffolding. The agent was panicking. They only had 90 days to sell the house, and it wasn't going to be completed. So she couldn't wait to do the photo shoot until it's done. So we shot it the way it was and removed it through Photoshop. It wasn't deceiving anybody. We just showed how it's going to look once the construction is removed. Just like here, the palm tree was going to be rebuilt right after the photo shoot. They just didn't have the time to schedule it. So, yeah, and enhancing pictures is important. But I think there's a critical point that I want to make. You don't want to deceive people into showing something to make it look better than it actually is, because that's false advertising, and that's not something we do. And we had customers ask, and we clearly decline it right away and say, put boundaries. That's false advertising. We're not going to engage in that.
So it's no wonder why we won this award for best in core values.
You got to be honest.
It's being honest, right? And I think I'm so glad you mentioned that because it's so easy to cut corners.
Right.
Right. But it takes a little bit more effort to have values, you know? And so that's one of the things that make me, I'm very, very happy, very grateful to be working at a company where the owner, the people who are over the company, they got good core values.
Yeah, I think everybody here shares the same values. We're all drawn to each other, to the same values as being open, transparent, and trying to bring real benefit and value to everybody out there. That's kind of the core. It's not about the money. It's about mutual growth and mutual benefit.
Amazing.
And that's, I think, the biggest advice I can give just about anybody. If you want to be successful in business, start with that one principle. What can I do for others? How can I make a product or service that will truly benefit other people? Not just not ripping people off, but providing truly an amazing, stellar experience. This is at the very core of success. Once you have that, then everything else, then we can show it, we can advertise you, we can make you shine. Because the worst thing for a bad business is good advertising. Because if you bring a lot of customers to a bad business, it will just fail so much faster. Word of mouth is ultimately the thing that you want to spread. People talk about you, that you're good. Yeah, you have to have that paid boost where you show it and you photograph and you advertise. But once you do all those steps, you want to have repeat business. You want to have the word of mouth, and you want to spread, to go viral. And that all starts and ends with quality service and good values.
Amazing. Well, I thank you. Thank you for being willing to break everything down for me,
My pleasure.
but also for all of our viewers and all of our listeners out there. And we just ran through all of the services, and then there are other things that are just kind of in between the things that we mentioned as well. And if you want to learn what some of those things are, you got to be a part of the 3D Media family. Give us a call, give us an email, check out our website 3dmedia.com, and you can get all the information you need. Have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to reach out. We'd be happy to serve you.
Yeah, and I think once you join our family, we kind of take care of you. We take care of each other, and we grow together. That's kind of the idea. It's never about one-time
Right.
thing. We're there for each other, and I think that's very, very important. Kind of build that partnership. Like our brochure says, we're your media partner. That partnership is very, very. We take that seriously. And if you don't need to hire us, just I think I hope this was educational, because you need all those services if you're a business of any kind, anywhere in the world. If you're a business, you need one of the services we've discussed. So it doesn't matter who you hire. Just make sure you try to follow the trajectory of getting all the services done and making sure you have a vendor that you can rely on. If you can find one that does everything, which is kind of like we are, which is probably a unicorn, great. If not, at least try your best at picking the right vendors.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment, and you guys have a good day.
Thank you.